Thank you very much. Quick shot. What's up, guys? We're back here. So, important first win here for Dignitas. They came off a depressing loss to Curse, but they're up 1-0 in this series. They've got to be feeling better about this match now.
Yeah, after that game, it was a really slow game, though. And you could tell that they're scared to make any mistakes, especially around Baron. They're like, all right, nice. We got all these kills, and let's not throw at Baron again.
Yeah, they never let Baron really get low until they're like, okay, we're sure we'll kill everyone if they go for it. You saw that last sort of Nintendo attempted steal. Just turning into more kills for Dignitas.
Yeah, they had one dangerous fight around it where they gave away a couple kills, but it wasn't disastrous. I think Crumbs especially has to be feeling pretty good about that game. He got to go Pharaoh Flare. He got to farm hard. He got ahead of Nintendo very quickly. And when you get ahead of somebody and you're Pharaoh Flare and they're not a Pharaoh Flare, it's only going to get worse from there. We were talking about it was like maybe a 30 CS discrepancy pretty early on in the game. It ballooned ridiculously. And the other thing I have to say is that Nintendo, before this match, he tweeted out, during the Cloud9 one that, Meteos build on Elise is a beautiful thing, how it came together in the end. This leads me to believe that Nintendo had not tried this build out before, and he was going for it the first time, using Elise with this new build in their playoffs, their game that's going to determine if they go to relegation or not.
Yeah, so Nintendo, unfortunately, not getting much farm. I also got informed the record not broken. This season, Meteos hit 300 CS on jungle. So
didn't break his own record.
Crumbs gets second place. Record. He did out CS his top laner for most of that game. So, all right, so a big farm difference in the jungle. I think that paid a lot of dividends there at one point. He had like a 6,000 gold lead. And this was when the team was up 16K, so like most of that was right there. So let's talk about the other performing members. Shifter still held up, right? He had a pretty good performance for himself. The rest of the team, unfortunately, not playing around him all that well. And it seemed like Coast had some bad fights. We actually have a replay of the first Dragon attempt here by Coast. That goes pretty sour, actually. Dignitas picks up some kills off it and gets a lot of control if we can get that replay up. It's pretty good for Dig.
Yeah, so let's roll this through. This is why I always caution teams to go for the early Dragons. This, level 5, level 6 around here, you take a lot of damage from it, and they're not actually even tanking it with the Spiderlings. So the damage was going on to Zion, who's more of an assassin than a tank. And Dignitas do an amazing job of collapsing onto them. They zone them out, great culling there, and the damage that they took from Dragon was too much. After they get a kill, then Dig are able to get not only the objective, but they're still able to answer, even though Scar goes down. So that's really the beginning of the game. This is where they get their first sort of global gold lead, and that's where Crumbs is like, all right, I'm ahead of Nintendo now, and I'm going to power farm this jungle, because my laners are also doing strong, and there's no looking back.
Yeah, after that Dragon fight, it's just, there's the momentum thing. All they had to do, and they had it in the back of their minds, like, we already have the lead. We don't have to really push anything. Let's just see how many CS I can get. How many Pharaoh Flare stacks he had? Like 40 or something?
45.
45 was the number. It's like 30-ish at least. Like he had a lot, to be fair. I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah, they killed Baron in like 3 seconds. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got max item champions in general, but sure. So let's actually move forward and talk about some of the champion selections then, because it was actually Dignitas that banned Nidalee as their third ban. We saw Scarra playing Karthus now. He's only been tested on 2 champions so far. I don't know, you also mentioned that there was no Ziggs scene here, and you're kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, I saw the Karthus, and everybody knows Shifter has a pretty nasty Ziggs. He had that one game where he was just taking everybody on by himself, and Ziggs is actually a really good pick into Karthus, because Karthus wants to get into your team and hit you with the defile damage. And, but if you have Ziggs, you can't do that. He's just going to keep poking you every time you try to come in, and I think he's a really good counter pick, and they just didn't go for it. So I was kind of weird about that.
Yeah, and honestly, like with the Ahri as well, like being the playmaker, it seemed like Coast were looking for a whole bunch of team fights as opposed to actually trying to get some picks. We have another replay, actually. It's a big climactic Baron fight. It's one that actually Dignitas tries to set up there if we can get the replay up, and it's going to be Dignitas getting another gigantic lead, picking up some kills.
Yeah, so you know how Dig is around Baron. They're a little scared, and this is right after they had that original team fight. So they are just going to turn off Baron. They don't want to risk finishing it because they're a little scared of Baron. They're just going to pick off Daydreaming and just turn right back onto Baron. And I think, yeah, Shifter ends up missing his Q on this, so he doesn't manage to pick off Scar instantly, which is pretty big, I think, because Scar is able to get, I think, 1 more Q off and get the ultimate damage, which Shifter does a really great job of hourglassing. But you can see Shifter's too scared to go back on Cutie Pie. So you got Wiz Fujin and Nintendo Dex trying to kill Cutie Pie right here, and they just can't bring him down. And I like this move by Cutie Pie where he does the culling here and just snipes him out at max range.
Yeah, so Shifter right there, he wanted to go in, but he was so scared, you could see. He didn't get close enough to land the charm. He half-heartedly went in. He was like, yeah, I want to help you, Nintendo dude. Not getting that close. And it was just close enough to get himself killed.
I think even if he did go in, though, Cutie Pie knew, and he knew he had the culling up still,
That's
so
why I didn't want
he
to
probably would have just instantly popped them. But it's pretty nice play by Cutie Pie.
Yeah, so we did a really good job. Pretty much all of Dignitas seemed to step up pretty well. Cruiser got to play his top lane Lee Sin. I think that was a fun thing. He gets to bring it out in the postseason there. So Dignitas, right, feeling a lot better. Scarra back in the mold. It seems that they're still playing super passive. Like, with this win, you think Dignitas are going to start exerting their presence a bit more? You think if they get ahead, they'll close it out faster?
I don't think they need to. I mean, this is a really high-pressure match, and there's a lot on the line. If you're playing against Coast, they have a really hard time just doing anything in the game. So just drag out the game, play those heavy farm junglers like Nocturne that scale really well in the late game. They play Karthus. Karthus is insane late game.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to the next game just with that same mindset. Just slowly whittle them down and just out-farm them.
So Dignitas going to play for the late game then?
Yeah, it's easy to see where Dignitas' head is at with the champions that they're using for Scarra. I mean, as you said, he hasn't been tested on other champions. It's the long-range, CS-heavy champions that he was always known for in Italy. And now Karthus, maybe they target ban Scarra now.
Yeah, actually, it's a question I want to talk then about is so, yeah, one target banning Scar. I think that could be interesting to see what else is in the pool. The other one is I want to press on this slightly on the idea of, like, pushing for late game. Because if Coast is, their big strength is actually getting ahead early, do you actually feed into that by picking late game scalers, allowing those plays to be made? Like, can Dignitas get too far behind, or can they just rely on making comebacks?
I mean, you saw Coast was moving around the map a lot. They were looking to get picks. Elise was moving around the map the whole time, and they were going around with Ahri, and they just couldn't convert any of the kills. So I think the picks aren't really what matter on that. They had a really nice pick cop on that, and they just can't convert anything. So if I were them, I would... You know that Scar is probably going to pick Karthus if you ban Italy. So you can pigeonhole them into a team comp and play around that. And I think they should look to do that.
Okay. Yeah, even when Coast are able to get control of the game early, they always have a problem finishing the game. So I think what they need to do is reverse engineer some strategy that will work for them. You start with, okay, how can we kill the Nexus? If we have the 5 champions that we would most like, what was the easiest way for us to end out a game? Mm-hmm. And they work backwards from there, and they say, we're going to use this set because we know if we do get our lead, then we'll be able to end out with these champions.
All right, well, we'll see if Coast has that puzzle together. We'll see if they can solve it, because we've got to take a broadcaster cooldown. But when we come back, we'll see if Dignitas can lock up 5th place in our second game against Team Coast. The North American Spring